In 1956, during their biological warfare testing, the US military released an undisclosed number of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes into the residential areas of Savannah, Georgia, which many say were infected with the malaria virus. This event was called Operation Big Buzz.
But the US military wanted to keep this research a secret, so they tested it in their own backyard.
One of the things that stands out for me about Operation Big Buzz is that the U.S. tested it on Americans.
Nasty little insects, and certainly, weaponizing them could be something that would be useful to the military.
It's kind of biological warfare before biological warfare.
The very same military is now testing mosquitoes that are genetically modified to deliver vaccinations, a great way to reach the vaccine hesitant, a project funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And let's not forget why the world's most powerful doctor does what he does.
Hearing you say that you're getting into this because there's more bang for your buck is not inspiring, Bill.
Well, that's too bad. It's not my goal to be inspiring. The world has limited resources.
So if you're not doing things to be inspiring, what are you doing things for?
Optimization.
The US Army is also testing their novel universal spike ferritin nanoparticle vaccine, which Dr. Fauci called a miracle of nature.
Can you, Dr. Fauci, say a little bit about the nature of the nanoparticle and how you actually bond the stem sections to the nanoparticle?
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's the beauty of nature. It's a self-assembling ferritin particle. It's the ferritin protein.
On March 16th, 2020, the National Institutes of Allergies and Infectious Diseases announced the results for one of their universal vaccine projects, Flu-V, created from proteins found in mosquito saliva, in a human challenge trial collaboration with UK-based Open Orphan. In October of 2020, the CEO of Open Orphan bragged to his investors about how well his company was doing during the pandemic.
Being tested. Suddenly, the pandemic arrives, and vaccines is very important. Look down the bottom right-hand corner, the range of customers. Janssen, one of the largest vaccine producers in the world, born in England, second biggest company in Germany. DARPA, that's American Defense Research Organization. Merck, Germany's largest pharma. And I'm convinced we are now just at the start of a decade or two of the vaccines and virologies. And this is a vaccine virology company. So I'm telling all the staff, hold on tight. We're going to have a fun ride. And literally, there's deals coming in, and watch this space, more of that to come in a minute. So I believe we're now facing into a decade of vaccine growth, which is a pretty good place to be.
AGSV, the other universal mosquito vaccine project under Open Orphan and the NIAID, is also being tested. AGSV is one of the first of its kind dual-use mechanism vaccines that is meant to prevent infection in humans while controlling the population in mosquitoes. In the AGSV protocol, they include Montanide ISA51 as one of the adjuvants, along with its health risks, which they admit has the potential to induce autoimmune disease, where they list several of concern. They note that even 3 months post-injection, fragments of Montanide ISA51 components remain in your body. And in the AGSV consent form, you'll find that the NIAID wanted the participants to know that some people have personal, religious, or ethical beliefs that may limit the kinds of medical or research treatments they might want to receive. Ironic, considering the NIAID's own director calling for vaccine mandates.
And that's where mandates come in. I mean, no one likes to mandate people to do things that they may not want to do.
But sometimes for the greater good of society, you have to do that.
Dr. Fauci also admitted that he wanted to vaccinate the world with a universal vaccine.
The influenza vaccine on a really good season is about 60% effective, and at a bad season, it could be 10% or less. But I believe that if you get a vaccine that really works as a universal flu vaccine,
you could vaccinate the entire world.
The way we did with smallpox.
In the US Army's spike ferritin nanoparticle vaccine, they use a special military adjuvant formulation called ALFQ, or Army liposome formulation with QS21, or Quilea saponin, a plant oil extract. According to a report published in the NIH's National Library of Medicine, the Quilea saponin's considerable toxicity restricts its use in humans, despite its immunogenic activity. 2 months before the World Health Organization announced COVID-19 to the world, the Milken Institute called for a disruption to blow up the system, as if an event, such as a pandemic, would help boost their universal vaccine production.
Why don't we blow the system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off the spigot on the system we have and then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet.
I think it's also that we haven't had this sense of urgency.
Do we need to have lots of people die for that sense of urgency to occur?
Was COVID-19 the perfect disruption they were looking for?
We are a resilient species. When our society collapsed, we found ways to go on. And now, for the first time in centuries, what we want is also truly what we need. In the face of disaster, we helped each other.
We built new communities in the ruins of the old. We adapted. We survived. Established a new normal.
On December 24th, 2020, the executive chairman of the World Economic Forum said that COVID-19 actually helped to accelerate what they call the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
It is very important to embrace the Fourth Industrial Revolution and its technology, as it will determine our future prosperity, like nothing else.
Thank you, Dr. Schwab. I absolutely agree on the fact that current COVID-19 truly enhanced and accelerated the era of Fourth Industrial Revolution.
There are now over 200 COVID-19 vaccine candidates, with many having different platforms and mechanisms, and some completely new and untested on humans. Some of these may eventually become candidates for universal vaccines as advances in biotech continue. And so long as vaccine testing takes place on a global scale, we will continue to see the rise in adverse events, as told by Dr. Fauci in one of his very own research papers. Published on January 19, 2021, COVID-19 vaccines, much accomplished, much to learn. Dr. Fauci admitted that healthcare providers will need to be prepared in addressing safety concerns as rare side effects begin to become more frequent. We should expect the same from universal vaccines. From the Deep State Satire, this is Harry Carnes.